Hey party people, and welcome back to MVM. Today I'm here with a preview for Kelp. This is about a shark and this is about an octopus, and it's a struggle for life. The octopus is trying to hide, it's trying to stay hidden, it's also trying to eat its food. And then you have the shark, which doesn't want anything but that nice big red octopus. And what we're doing is we have a hidden movement game. On one side we have a card game where the octopus is trying to learn and get itself in a safest spot possible and deceptively move around the board. And then you have the shark, which is trying to use the currents to move around the board and deduce where the enemy is, where the octopus is, and then hopefully they find that they kind of develop their dice and mitigate things to the point where they can start flying around the board and learning and getting more powerful, getting those right cards, and then pounce. And when they pounce, I'm not gonna ruin that till the end. It's a really interesting little thing going on here. All right, folks, this is a sponsor preview. You know what's up. I'm going to show you both sides of the board. So we're going to start out with one side from one side of the board as the octopus go to the other side, and then talk about the confrontation part of it. All right, let's dig in here. All right, so this is Kelp, and I am the octopus. So the players would be facing across from each other. I kind of made sure you can see basically all the octopus stuff. This board is not huge, but you are playing a card game. You will start out the game with 4 cards in your hand. These are the different types of cards, and these are the tiles. What you have are these kind of shell tiles, which are used to buy things. They will either be hidden or they will be revealed. And right now, I am the octopus. I am right in the middle. Don't worry about these dice. We'll be talking about those when the shark comes around. This is a Lego shark. This is a prototype. So there will not be a Lego shark in the final game. Can't work that out with Lego apparently, right? So you have these different spots here. There are 9 spots on the board, and they have these different search numbers. These are for the shark. And they also have these current spots. Those are for the shark as well. But you may notice the numbers on the outsides. This is where the den is for the sharks, for the shark. The numbers are higher in these middle areas here. They're a little bit lower, and then of course in the center, very low. There's a reason for that, but it represents, as you can see visually, it is the kelp. On my right side here is one of my winning conditions. If I take 4 of these and put them here, these are my food, I win the game. It's one of the ways I win the game. Now, if I just exhaust this guy and he gets all his dice, his 7 dice all the way up to this hunger track, gets tired, gets exhausted, I win, I get away. And that's what you're doing as the octopus. You're trying to be, you're trying to get smart. You're trying to get more deceptive. You want to start moving these shells around. You want to start mixing things up. You want to shake things up in a bag and get around here. And I'm going to give you an idea how you do that. So over here we have our shells, our tiles that will go onto the board and also move around. But for right now, I'm going to show you what you do on your turn. You get 2 actions on your turn, and you have 3 choices. One is play a card. And on the left side of the card, it will tell you how many tiles you have to reveal in order to play the card. So paying the cost is actually putting a tile face down. You're trying to decide how much information you want to give out. You don't want to give away too much and have too many hidden, have too many revealed. So that's important. But what's on the card are different types of things, such as hiding blocks, which is basically putting blocks back up. This could be shuffling tiles, so you can take tiles that are in a certain state, shuffle them up, make sure they're still hidden. These have grooves on the back to kind of so the opponent can't see. The opponent will get to tell you where these things go, but they'll be facing the other way. They can't see. You'll also have things where you learn. So learning is gaining cards from these stacks. These are more developed cards and better than the ones that I have in my initial hand. Well, with learn, you can do a combination of things. You could get a card and add it to your discard pile. You could do a combination of that, or you can take a tile that's face down and switch it out with another tile. More than likely you want to switch it out with one of these food tiles here. And I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. Instead of doing it that one, I'm going to pay with this tile here, and then I'm going to switch this out with this one here. They come in face down. The tiles come in face down like that. And there's a reason why I'm doing that, okay? So that's one thing I can do is pay a card. There are cards that cull cards. There are all kinds of different things. But when I get this prey, this is one of the prey cards. It goes here, and then the next tile we have will go right there. We're trying to get those in the cycle. We also have traps that we can get out there that go in the cycle as well if you want. Some of those traps, what they do is when the enemy strikes here and they spring a trap, what'll happen is I get to lift things up. Maybe I get to lift things up here. I get to maybe remove his dice off of here, current dice, things of that nature. So, or I can even get to displace him in one of his 4 camps out here. So you have all these different options when you set this up. And like I said, it's like a shell game, right? So that's one thing you can do on your turn is play a card. And that's some of the things that can happen. Then you also have, sometimes you just get down to the point where you can't play as many cards because you don't have any in your hand. Well, you can draw back up to your hand size. That's another action you can choose. You do not draw back up to your hand size at the end of your turn automatically. Now, one of the more strategic things you can do is just discard a card and then put a tile back to the hidden state. And that may be one of the things you need to do in order to just start putting things back up because, well, what's happening is eventually you're starting to show too much information, and that's not what you want to do. The Octopus is a very interesting character because it's all about learning as many of these new awesome ability cards as possible, but then it's also about the hunt. So what happens if you want to eat one of your snacks here? So let's just say I eventually have gotten this crab card in my hand. I will play this crab card, and I will reveal the crab card when I'm adjacent to it. I will reveal myself, so it lets the enemy know where I'm at, and I also will reveal the crab. And what happens is this crab is now eaten, okay, and I am revealed, and then I replace it, okay. Now the enemy knows exactly where I'm at, and they can, right over there. But you got to make sure you time this stuff right. The other benefit of eating your prey is that it has a benefit on it. For example, this crab gives me the ability now to have 5 cards in my hand, and I can spend this whenever I want. I don't have to spend it right away. There are other benefits on here. Some of you can search through a deck for a certain card. This one I believe you can unhide all your tiles. You can unhide 3, that kind of stuff like that. So you can take them for reveal to hide 3, hide more, hide a couple of them. So there's all these different benefits that you get from eating your prey as you go along. The shark is growing and getting smarter, and so are you at becoming more deceptive. That is the role of the octopus. Really interesting. I've gotten away more times than I've gotten caught, I can tell you that. Because you get to feel a lot smart, very, very smart when you play this game as the octopus. Let's go ahead and show you from the perspective of the shark so you can see how they get real crafty as well. My name is Bruce. No, it's not Bruce. My name is Jeremy, and I don't want to get sued. So you are taking on the role of the shark now. And from the shark, it is a dice game. You are going to be rolling 2 dice. You'll be either placing them out here. As they come back, you'll maybe searching or striking, or you may be storing them to buy something down here, getting better dice and also cards that will mitigate your dice rolls. But eventually, as you do certain things, you will start to fatigue. And as you fatigue, if you get to the point where you have 7, you lose interest or you just get too hungry, basically, thematically speaking. So it's a struggle, all right? Let's go ahead and dig into what you do here. On your turn, you're going to always start with 2 dice unless you have some ability where you roll more. Okay, so do this here, we play, and I have what's called a search die. There are these current type die, there is the search die, and then there's the strike die. I hope that's called current. I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe it's placing current die. So I'll take this current and that search die right there, and then I will use them. Now you'll notice that there's already die out here. Like I said, I'm kind of showing you stuff mid-game, and I'll just kind of talk about this. There are certain spaces out here. Those are current. Those are placed for dice. A shark will never be on those spots the same place as the die or anything like that. The shark must, as they roll, they're going to start placing out these dice, and they can place the dice wherever they want, these current dice wherever they want on these spots. Maybe they want to so they can move around. So the actual other commitment part of this is that they can move. Now this die right here can be used for certain things. I'm going to show you what it does, just to kind of show you a perfect example, to show you what it does, but I want to show you how you move around the currents. So when you move, and it's mandatory to move, you could just move to the next one. But if you're going to move through your current dice, you're going to move in descending order through dice. So I could, and I have to go the way I'm going. I can't flip around and turn around. I could go one like that, or I could go through my 4 and through my 2 to this spot here, or I can go through my 4 and through my 3 and go there, okay, like that. So it's descending order. All right, so I am going to do this. I'm going to go 4 and 2 like that. All right, and then I am going to make sure I take this die off, and this die is going to go on here on this piece here. Now these right here are your developing stage. This helps you grow in the game, and what it's doing is it's unlocking more abilities to help you out. The first one that I unlocked here is you may re-roll a die each turn. There will also be cards that let you do that. I have one here, Relentless. It says before move, re-roll 1 or 2 dice. I have that card here. So you just get an idea of how you can do this. And it even helps you out with some special moments that you can have in the game. But once I do that, the first die that I roll pass through, so I went through this one first, it goes on here. When the third one goes on here, I'm just going to grab one, it will flip this over. And now this one actually says, hey, when I have less than 5 stored energy, 5 or less, it actually adds to my ability to buy. And I'll talk about that when we get to it. But then the search die is actually used in these spots here. Okay, so if you are next to or adjacent to one of these spots, you can search that spot if you have the die that's that number or higher. And you see that's red there too. I'll show you what that means in a minute. But if I want to search a spot, I can search this one to the right or this one to the left of me. I'm going to search this one here, just because I'm guessing. Oh, what do you know? Perfect example, I see the shark. But the problem is that's not a strike die. I can only see them, okay? So I know that they're there. But I placed a search die there. So the search die will come off. The search die will come off and it will go on here. Now, instead of doing that, I could have just stored this. And when you store, you're going to store the energy right here and you're going to use it to buy out of this market instead, okay? So you can just say, hey, I'm going to use one for a current die, or I'm not going to use those, and you put the dice here. You can only have a total of 3. When you get to 3, you have to buy, but you can buy if you had less. I want to show you what happens when you do, but you can buy up to the amount here. I have 11, so I could buy a card here for 5. It would be replaced. And then I could maybe buy another card, or I can reduce this by 1. Okay, I can reduce this by 1 to wipe out a card if I wanted to. So there are several different things that you can do. But the thing is, once you buy a card, you have to get rid of a die and the rest go back. Okay, so you have options, but the cool part is as you gain these cards, not only do you get their ability, but you also get better dice added to your deck here. So it's like you're adding strike die, you're adding all these different types of yellow search die so you can see more and do more. That's the whole idea. Now I want to show you what happens, let's say in the same scenario, but let's say I drew a 6 instead. Okay, so now I have, let's say the shark had exposed itself because it ate something on the last turn. And I make my way all the way over there. My name is Bruce. I get over there. And now we have this thing here, and I'm going to place this on here. I reveal it is the octopus. Boom! And now we're off in a battle, okay? This is the last strike in a sense, right? So we both have 3 cards. They're the exact same cards, except one is the octopus's, which has a whole bunch of dodge moves in it if they get away, and the other one has a whole bunch of counter moves. And if they are the same color at the same time when we reveal, well, unfortunately for the octopus, they are eaten, okay? Now, if the octopus has a different color card when we reveal, then we basically get a chance to do a cool move, hide, do all kinds of stuff, swap spots, all that kind of thing. They're doing these kind of a dance, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of flip this over and see how these play out. I'm going to take one card here, one card there. All right, so they don't match, okay? So since they don't match, we get rid of one of the cards. So it's like eventually what happens is you start to whittle down. These cards go away, and now we whittled down our possibilities. So the next time, if they were to go, it's a 50-50 shot. Okay, so then maybe, this time we got to catch. So now they can't get away. But let's just say the octopus got away. This one says disappearing ink, shuffle the octopus with another hidden block, or hide the octopus instead, trash this card, and the matching counter card. So you have different ways of getting away. It's a really interesting mechanic. This game is full of interesting ideas. It's on one hand, you got a nifty card game where your cards get better, your deck gets better. On the other hand, you have a dice game, which is a really risky dice game. By getting more powerful, you're also getting closer to hunger, but you find different ways of having to re-roll. You have make any die a 6. You get more of these red dice and you get more opportunities to strike. But the payoff, the trade-off is that you also get more tired for, kind of swinging at everything. That's me being a shark. Okay? So what I would tell you overall about Kelp is it's a very interesting asymmetrical experience that feels thematic and represents the struggle and the mind games of you playing out this scenario between an octopus and a shark. You feel smart as an octopus. You feel like you're becoming a more fierce, better hunter as the shark. And I think that gives you an idea of what Kelp is. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you to Wonderbow Games for sponsoring this video. It was definitely a privilege because I tracked this game down, and I'm showing you because I do have confidence in this game. So hopefully that gives you some information, because I cannot tell you what to do with your money. Hopefully I just helped inform you today. And with that, party people, you take care. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on MVM.